Yo, what's up? So, Unison League has just released two new step up spawns, and they're both related to the newest elemental proc series called Triumph. But before I go over if these spawns are worth doing or should you skip, I want to briefly explain what is an elemental proc. I'll be using this one as an example. So, an elemental proc is basically a piece of gear that uses other pieces of gear of the same element to maximize its effect or activation rate. So, in the case of Time Triumph, ability power scales with the number of time elemental weapons equipped up to a max of 7xl. The gear pieces needed for maximum effect is 3, which means that if you have 3 time elemental weapons, including this one, it'll maximize the scaling and the possible damage that it can do. So if you also read over here, you can see more info about the scaling or the activation rate. As long as you have 3, you can maximize the scaling and the damage, which makes this proc very, very strong. What makes them very valuable is how very useful they are and how strong they are. You can use them in your elemental sets, and you can use them in your PvP set if you need to as well, and focus on either 2 or 1 element depending on what you skill best. So this pawn over here, as you can see, they are quite literally the same, other than that this one gives you the star ones, and this one gives you the time triumph gears. So if you check over here, you can see that the medals that they share are the exact same one. But if you go to details, you can see that both of these gear sets are in the same exchange shop, which means that if you do a rotation in this one, you're gonna get the same medals that you can get from the ones over here. So you could maybe focus on time, and then if you really wanted to, you can exchange for a star piece. Like maybe I want the relic, but I'm just gonna keep doing the time one in case I also get the time book. So these pawns are very expensive because number one, you can see that it says guaranteed one newly weapon or defense gear. If you go here, you can see that it's the only thing that you can get from this. The only thing that you can get are the time weapons or gear, and the same goes for the star ones, as you can see over here. What makes them expensive is that you're not going to be able to get the piece that you actually want. It's always going to be random every time you do a rotation. That's what makes them very expensive, as well as you're usually always going to be reaching the exchange goal to actually get the piece that you actually want. Oh, sorry. So essentially, you're always going to want to have enough or more than enough in case you have the worst luck possible, or if you somehow end up lucky. You want to always have a safe range of gems so that you can guarantee exactly what you want. You should never gamble on this and then just beat yourself up about it because you gambled and then you fucked up. Don't do that. Just save your gems if you don't have enough, or you can get them cheaper on a selection spawn, which sometimes comes out every now and then, which usually have the elemental procs prior to Triumph releasing, stuff like Obliterating, or Dragon Slayer, or Soaring Swallow, or even Whale. But at this point, they're probably gonna be focusing more on the Slayers and Obliterating until Triumph has reached somewhat of a balance on the ones that have already released. So maybe halfway through, they're gonna start adding them one by one slowly. But we don't really know with this stupid ass game, but there's really not much to go over. You get a full either drop if you do the entire rotation. I mean, that's good. But again, it's very expensive. This is catered towards the big spenders. I suggest if you're a low spender or if you're free to play, skip this. I know it's tempting, but you should really not do this if you do not have enough. And if you don't have enough, that's okay. You can just wait for a cheaper spawn, or you can wait for a different element if you really want to. But I actually do suggest that you prioritize monsters over these, because you can usually get something similar to these weapons in selection spawns, as I mentioned briefly earlier. But I think that's about it for these spawns. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. There's a link at the bottom left of the screen where it takes you to a Discord server. It's basically a Unison community server where everyone can help each other. You're gonna be able to ask questions, they can get answered by players that actually play the game. You can also see the spawn ratings for these spawns as well in the server itself. And I think that's about it. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.